Hi everyone, this is Impulse, and in today's video, I'm gonna react to the visual effects of John Wick 4. I also hope everyone is okay. I know for most of us as visual effects artists, those times are right now a little bit stressful. Me included, pretty stressed right now with all that writer strikes, actor strikes, and we kind of start feeling the ripple effect from this. Hang in there, everything's gonna be fine. Just hang tight. Alright, quick pause here right now. I was trying to be hopeful and, between the release of the video and when I recorded it, there's at least a few weeks in between. And I didn't think the situation is gonna be that bad, but now I think it is. People are losing their job every day, my team included. That's not very nice. I'm seeing friends panicking and how they're gonna do, maybe switching career and stuff like that. And I think we're not represented at all with this. And whatever you guys gotta do it, but do it fast. That's all. Anyway, let's go back to the video. So if you're watching this video, I assume you saw the movie, so this is gonna be probably full spoiler. Sorry about that. Thanks to VFX to release 2 breakdown of it. So funny story, like a friend of mine worked on it as an effects artist on the movie. And when the movie came out, he was like, "Oh dude, there was a sequence. We redid the Arc de Triomphe. It's full CG. Like you won't even see the difference between what's real and what's not." Me also, again, me included. I was, yeah, sure, probably 1 or 2 shots, like establishing shots. Released 2 breakdown. First is the Arc de Triomphe sequence, and the other one is with the Dragon Breath sequence. That W sequence was pretty phenomenal. Again, I haven't watched any of those VFX breakdown I'm gonna play here. Without further ado, let's just dive in. I'm gonna put my little headphones, because I guess there's some music in this. It's always fun to watch. My little pen. So same deal, I have the 2 link here, back to back, Arc de Triomphe sequence and the apartment. We're gonna start with this. I'm gonna play it once, full screen, full HD, and we're gonna try to analyze it. And I mean, by we, I'm gonna try, and then see how they did this, and let's go for it.
And now let's roll into the Arc de Triomphe.
Okay. Why I'm smirking, it's because, well, when I watched it, I was, probably like the first few cars, like driving close to the actor, there might be CG and the rest must be practical, just for safetyness. But then I got totally fooled, truly, and I think it's amazing. Let's go back here for a minute. So they, obviously, for shooting a sequence like this, probably requires like weeks of rehearsal, planning, prepping, probably another few weeks also to shoot this. So imagine for people that live in Paris, fellow French people, you guys know that'll be a nightmare. You can't you can't lock the Arc de Triomphe like this for a few weeks or a few nights. You'll have a riot at the end. Like, it's impossible. I guess they shoot this in another location. It's actually pretty exciting and again, sweaty. I might be like less impressed in comparison to Superman and Lois, for example. It's because of the timeline and the deadline that you have to do those shots in comparison to like a TV show schedule. Still impressive, don't get me wrong. We have here this car traveling, which it looks like it's the only thing left from the plate. So when I said only thing left from the plate means like this is only this and the rest is being replaced entirely. And then look at that, look at all those details in this environment. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. And then look at this full environment here. So how do you accomplish that? So again, as usual, little disclaimer before diving in too much into this. This is only my own guessing. I find this very like fun to trying to guess. I do not have any info or insight about the movie. I know a little bit, you know, rodeo effects in terms of company and what they're doing in their pipeline, but just like the surface. Please take everything I'm gonna say with a grain of salt. If you ever worked on that sequence and you came across that video, please, if I'm wrong or if I'm right, let me know in the comments. It's always fun. Back to this environment here. So how would you do this? First of all, I would take a ton of picture reference on set. Like I would go to Paris for maybe like what, maybe a full week and take tons of reference, picture reference. Why? Because you want to have your, obviously your Arc de Triomphe, right? This is a monument that I think most of the people on Earth know. It's Paris. Also, you want to get the fine detail right, so nothing puts you out of that sequence. You still want to be in it and believe in it. Not thinking like, oh, they're probably in a studio, I can tell it's CG, whatever. Like even me, even myself, I've seen on big screen in IMAX, I think I got tricked. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 shots for CG of the Arc de Triomphe and you know, over and out, bye, but it's the whole freaking thing. Then we have a few trees. So how would I approach that actually? Well, here's the thing, you can, I would call this kind of like a brute force method. Like, you know, you model maybe 30 trees, brutal, you stick an animation. So when I say you stick an animation, like you will take maybe 2000 frame of it and you make your tree a little wiggle ever so slightly and you put this in loop and you just like lay out them properly. This could be a very heavy way to do it. Or you could do the same with less tree, maybe 4 or 5. Can maybe go 8, 10. I don't know, I just went quickly to 10. I will instance them maybe to try and to optimize your file and be more efficient. When you do those type of thing, you want to avoid seeing the repetition of it. You don't want to see like, oh, this tree on the left, on the screen left here is the same that on the screen right. Like you want to avoid that, which even here when I'm taking a look closely, I think there is any. It's also not like we're having a close-up of those trees here too much. So I would like to think they're not like heavy in terms of polygon. I will do, you probably do like LOD. So LOD, for example, is level of detail. For example, the way you will do this is you will have your LOD and let's call it like 0.1 and 0.1 would be like very like high detail, right? And then you'll have the same here too, medium details. And then you'll have maybe LOD 3, which will be like very low detail. You will use this to, you know, have trees in the background, like that you barely see and you don't care. You don't want like fully load your file with unnecessary data. And I don't know if anyone noticed that, it is the ground. Like there is fine detail everywhere. There is a nice shine, speck reflection to it. Like it feels wet. Again, you would use texture, displacement to for maybe a certain level of detail based on the camera and where you are. Like when it's closer to the camera, higher detail. Far away from the camera, less detail. So let's keep on going. Oh yeah, I forgot obviously all those trees, but yeah, look at that. Look at all that shine here. That nice speck breakup. And then after, like once you're here, when you establish your environment and your way to do it, then you have to build your light trick of the environment. So if this is CG, then you're gonna have to stick a light all the time on those guys. Like, you know, for here. So what you do, obviously you want to be lazy. So you set up your light rig for one of those lampposts here. You set that up once, you duplicate it to them. You might want to create some variance in terms of exposure. You don't want like all of them to be identical. My intensity or exposure is 1 on one lamppost. I would be like 0.9 on the other one, 0.85 on the other, back to 1, 0.95. Again, very subtle. Also, the other thing is you need to build your light trigger on the Arc de Triomphe. There is something, and that triggers me. It could be the angle of the shot that we're looking at right now, but I don't see the source light of this. Where that lights come from, I don't see it, so I don't know. I could be mistaken again. Someone can tell me like, hey, it's maybe just in front of me and I can't read it. Then you have also to do light trick for cars. which each car is different. You have to do the back light here, front light here, and you want to make sure they are angled properly so you know they affect your ground the way it's supposed to affect. There is also what we call some IES profile, which is it's kind of like you have your each bulb of your lights emit a different shape. I use this a lot to kind of break it so it's not flat and perfect. There is obviously some light, they go more down, more up, which is nice, so you have to parent constraint to all of that and obviously affecting your ground properly. And when your bus is obviously driving, then you want those light to affect this guy here, same with here. I don't understand why this bus is going this way. It should go this way. I mean, it's John Wick, it's a mess in this. Look at that, like full CG car. I believe also behind this, like this is probably like a plate somewhere or a GMP, which is digital matte painting. Yeah, it's all like fully replaced, and you have to get like an accurate scan of those cars so you can cast reflection interaction on it, like from the CG environment to the plate. Yeah, look at that. You have to get the shadow from the plate onto the CG, which you can do a keying and extract it. Yeah, the breakdown is pretty crazy. That's nice. You don't care much about the detail inside the car, you want accurate detail outside of the car for anything, again, interactive with it, like reflection and stuff like that. Because, like, for example, you truly want, like, I don't know if it's in this shot in particular, but let's pretend here we have, like, a spotlight, you know, like this. You want that light here. You want your light to maybe give it a little shine here, ever so slightly, right? If you don't have it in the plate, then you want an accurate geo so you can get that information in your CG and stick it back on top of the plate. But maybe they simulate that on set. Maybe they have already some lights around, who knows? Yeah, which it seems like it. Yeah, look at that. They fully replace. When you compare here between this car, and this car, like plate, CG car everywhere. Now the work is astonishing. What's even like maybe tough, you have also to keep the rain plate on top of it. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but like there is some rain here falling in this area that they kept. So you have to take this, put it on top of the CG, which is here. Maybe what you will do, it's another pass of effects rain on top. Like you will obviously do a simulation of rain to enhance it or help blending with the real one. Again, it's just like supposition. I could be entirely wrong. What I was like more shocked the most, so see even here, look at that, the detail, the close-up detail between this and this. Like this is pure asphalt, or at least like wood or prop. I mean asphalt, sorry, like it's probably wood. But then look at this, like this all high detail painted, like props to the shading, texturing. Look, dev artist that did this, like it's phenomenal. Even the car CG, like again, this is the best. The CG you cannot notice, to me is the best. Yeah, look at that. Most of the cars, like CG are fully replaced, especially when there is impact. Yeah, like this. No, it's impressive. Even this one, I was just in theaters, I was like, oh, it's nice. They trained the dog to run across cars. And I'm like, no. Then here's this sequence. How do they call this? The apartment massacre. Yeah. My friend also worked on it in this sequence, which was fun. So let's see what it is. Let's watch it again once and we're gonna find out. It's crazy. Okay. Where to start? There's a few things to talk here. First of all, they did a full scan of this environment or location. I'm having a hard time to see like what is those for? Like what is it? Is it CG? Is it this CG and this is plate on top? Or I think so. This is like interaction with like blood mist. People on set, if you ever watch this video, like, please, every LiDAR possible, make it accurate like this. Because what I've seen so far, it is heavy. So what it is like someone on set is going to take a little camera or maybe like another tool that I don't have the name of it, but he's going to scan the entire room and get the data from it that we're gonna call a LiDAR. You probably guys have heard of like polycam and stuff. It's the same principle. This is very accurate. That gives you like so many points. It's so heavy to get it. So you need to clean it. To at least give you reference in space for layout, effects, lighting, even sometimes for comp if they need some projection. It doesn't mean like Nuke probably can't handle the whole LiDAR here, but you can always, you know, have some comper, for example, and they'll be like, hey, can you give me, I don't know, the railing? I need to project something. You know, you can always like quickly cut it, give the alembic to the compers, and that's it. And then the best is they have their literally a very accurate match move, which is very cool. All those fire breath are obviously like CG. What's happening is you probably have a senior FX artist that's doing the simulation, that's being approved. He dev the look of it, and then, all right, deploy that to the next 10 shots he's going to do. Or maybe with more variants, but at least lock the look. That's what you want, right? When you have the LiDAR, right? Like, for example, in this shot, like, obviously they didn't burn the guy, right? What you will do is, so I have my particles coming here. I have my LiDAR. So two things, sometimes your shader, when you're doing effects, can be emissive. The BGO, VGB, point, whatever they use to make this effects right there can illuminate it. So you will take the information from the LiDAR and you will give that to your comper, and you will have a rough idea of how the light's affected. It's kind of what we call an interactive light. Usually, I always rather go to the lighting route. Not saying that the FX artist cannot do it, but in general, it should be the job of a lighting artist, I think. Again, unless obviously the FX artist knows what he's doing, is okay with it, he's cool with it, and fine by me. Otherwise, you know, I'll ask my lighting artist, like, put me a little point light here, make it glow, or depends again of what your VFX soup is thinking. See, there you go. That's exactly, that's what I'm talking. The thing is also like when you have a LiDAR that precise, that like high detail, you know where the lights on set were. So you can physically put your lights in it. You build the light rig of the room, you balance your color. So either you do your color temperature in the CG itself or in comp. The match move again doesn't have to be accurate, but like 100% accurate enough to maybe provide a good shadow pass if needed, or lighting interaction if needed. Yeah, so see here you have what you do as an FX artist. I mean, at least I experienced that on the show I was working. It's like, so you see here, he exploded here. So you would have maybe a geo just right there that do the angle, right? And then like, all right, just use this and do your sim with some debris and dust and rocks, whatever. Then you texture that. I mean, you can texture or you can camera project if it's the wall. Like, you literally take the plate of the wall here, you project your UV based on your camera angle, and you just do the UV from the inside, because when you felt like you probably have the inside face that's not being textured, you can always put like a quick shader or even just like a texture proper. Again, depends of the importance of the effects in the sense of if it's in a hero one like close to the camera or not. I'm being rough guy in my explication, because otherwise it would take like 2 hours per thing. But yeah, this is cool. I don't really know what am I looking at here. If it's Is it like a LiDAR camera projection stitching? So we see how everything is going? Kind of. It looks like it's different plate getting stitched all together on top of the LiDAR. I don't really know what I'm looking at, to be honest. So again, if one of you worked on it, please enlighten me. But that's cool. What is this? Is that a real guy here? No, yeah, that's... Okay. I was like, what is this here? I'm like, is that a guy? Yeah, it is. So cool, it's probably giving some reference for FX artists that look like 2D stock footage, which sometimes can be a better way and a cheaper way to go. And here you have some paper reference, I guess, paper flying reference. Could be for effects, or even, you know, you can always grab a certain element from a stock footage and stick in there, which is cool. Probably nice, always. Okay. This here, so I don't know if what I'm gonna say was used on that purpose, but it's always nice to receive the plate of, I will call this maybe a witness cam, or maybe it would be a second plate that you will try to stick somewhere. So I don't know if it was supposed to be stick in one of those mirrors or to get a reference somewhere. I don't know, because the thing is, when that mirror cracks here, I mean, you need, if this is CG here, if your mirror is CG, you're gonna need a plate or something to stick to it. So when I say a plate, it could be like another take, like something that we can stick on, or something shot especially for this. Yeah, like, yeah, okay, that's it. It looks like it's CG to me. All the smoke. That's cool. Yeah, nice. I really love this Dragon Breath effects. You're gonna tell me it's maybe easy? Yeah, look at all the detail of the scan. This is heaven for people. And believe me, I'm not sure, I'm freaking struggling to get some. That's cool. This guy on fire. Seems like it was practical. Nice reference here. I don't know in which sense it was used. But again, see here, this was a green screen. Look at that, you're gonna have to rebuild the reflection from it. There you go. So you see him here. So could be, again, another take. Maybe there was a camera below that shot him in. I don't know. But you have to fake something. And then he keeps shooting again. And again. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty insane. Pretty stoked by it. I love all those effects and practical visual CG ones that are invisible and that don't take you away from the action and the story point of it. Like, you still, at the end of the day, I mean, that's how I felt in the theater. Like, you're still following John Wick and his journey and his fight without being taken away from that because of all the visual effects around it. That doesn't like choke the story. I mean, anyway, I hope you guys liked it and maybe potentially provided good tips. Anyway, thank you Rodeo VFX for your service. That was amazing, honestly, and I personally enjoy all the John Wick, to be honest. It's just so satisfying and so cool. So congrats to every visual effects artist that worked on the movie. Your work is stunning, flawless, and pretty invisible, in a good way, obviously. On those words, I wish you a lovely day, night, weekend, whenever you're watching this. And if you have any clip or recommendation, please drop a comment below and I will gladly react to it. Peace, and see you on the next one. Bye.